Question number 12, Grant Robertson.
Mr Speaker, my question is to the Minister of Justice. Did she note her visit to the Shanghai offices of Oravida Limited in her report to Cabinet on her ministerial visit to China in October 2013? If not, why not?
Honourable Judith Collins.
Mr Speaker, as that member knows from the information provided a month ago, the answer is no. Just as when Labour was in office, Cabinet reports do not include every minor stop on a trip. In the same way, my stopping off at Flat White in Beijing was not included in the Cabinet report. As that member already knows, I agreed that I would call in to see Oravida's Shanghai office if time allowed. I will continue to do everything I can to support New Zealand Inc., especially when I'm overseas.
Question, Mr Speaker.
Order. Supplementary question, Grant Robertson.
In light of that answer, why did she name businesses that she visited in her report to Cabinet on her June 2012 visit to China, but failed to do so for her visit to Oravida in 2013, which was the subject of a formal invitation?
Honourable Judith Collins.
Mr Speaker, the member must be referring to my visit to the Red Pear Company in the Yunnan province. Well, primarily because it took about 3 hours to get there, have the trip and visit and then go back again. It was a very long visit. It wasn't a 20-minute stop.
Supplementary question, Grant Robertson.
After receiving the invitation on 9 October to visit Oravida in Shanghai from the chairman, Stone Shi, did she discuss the visit with either of the other two directors of Oravida Limited?
Honourable Judith Collins.
Mr Speaker, I had already spoken to the chairman and the managing director on the 7th of October when they invited me, and I had said that any request like that, I'd normally like to have it in writing so that I could release it, which, of course, I did.
Supplementary question, Grant Robertson.
What does she say to former National Party President Michelle Bogue, who has described her decision to go to Oravida as naive?
Honourable Judith Collins, insofar as this ministerial responsibility.
Mr Speaker, I would say that was very sweet that she feels about me like that. It's very sweet of her.
Supplementary question, Mr Speaker.
Order. I just need to... Order. Supplementary question, Grant Robertson.
Mr Speaker, given the condemnation of her visit from the editorial writers of the New Zealand Herald, the Dominion Post, the Sunday Star Times and numerous political commentators, will she now admit that the visit to Oravida did give rise to a conflict of interest and that she should apologise to New Zealand taxpayers for making that visit on a taxpayer-funded trip?
Mr Speaker, I'm always very concerned when I have any editorial that agrees with me in any way, because I represent the people of this country.
Point of order, Mr Speaker.
Order. This is a point of order. Point of order, Grant Robertson.
I seek leave of the House to table the trip report provided to Cabinet by Judith Collins on her June 2012 visit to China that lists companies that she visited.
Order. Leave us sought to table this particular Cabinet document. Is there any objection? Is there objection? There is objection.
Mr Speaker.
Point of order, Grant Robertson.
Speaker, I seek leave of the House to table the trip report to Cabinet by Judith Collins on her October 2013 visit to China, which did not name Oravida that she visited.
Order. Leave us sought to also table this particular Cabinet. Is there any objection? There is objection. Order. Point of order, the Honourable Ruth Dyson.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I raise a point of order to seek your advice.
Order. We just have a point of order that I'm having trouble hearing. Point of order, the Honourable Ruth Dyson.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I raise this point of order to seek your advice. Last week in the House, the Honourable Amy Adams, on behalf of the Honourable Jerry Brownlee, said this: "The Minister unreservedly apologises and will be writing personally to those MPs with his apologies." Mr Speaker, he was referring to the Christchurch Labour MPs. I have received a undated written apology, but my colleagues haven't. So I seek your assistance in getting Mr Brownlee...
That is a matter for discussion between those members and the Minister if they so choose. It is not a relevant point of order. Order. Point of order. But before I hear the Honourable Trevor Mallard, I just want to make sure that he's not in any way questioning a decision I've just made regarding the validity of that point of order. Point of order, the Honourable Trevor.
Well, no, I can't give that undertaking.
Well, then the member better sit down.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
If the member's raising a fresh point of order, I'll hear it.
It is a fresh point of order, Mr. Speaker.
And it's not contesting my ruling?
No, Mr. Speaker, it's asking you to explain it. Mr. Speaker.
Order. The member will resume his seat. I have said that it is not a valid point of order. The members had the opportunity of making a political comment. That is not what point of orders are for. If those particular members who feel aggrieved, well, they've got every opportunity to take it up with the minister involved. It's not something that concerns the order of this House. Point of order, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Mr. Speaker, what remedy does a member have when an undertaking to this House has been breached? Sir, in the past, if an undertaking has been made to table a document, the Speaker has helped. And my question, sir, is what remedy does a member have?
I've already explained that to the member, and I don't want to have to do it for a third time. If members feel aggrieved, there was no undertaking given, there was certainly a statement made. If members feel aggrieved that they haven't been suitably addressed, they should in the first instance take it up with the minister concerned. Call on Government Order of the Day, number 1 to number 4.
Electoral Amendment Bill, committee stage continued.